Welcome to the debate. So, how does the exact same coach, right at the exact same university, manage to win two championships using, well, two completely contradictory formulas? Today, we're dissecting Cleo Hill Jr.'s masterclasses at Winston-Salem State University.
Right. We are looking specifically at his 2019-2020 Rams versus the 2022-2023 Rams. Both teams raised the CIAA championship banner, which is incredible. But structurally, the historical record shows they really couldn't be more different.
Exactly. I will be arguing that the 2019-2020 team's top-heavy, sort of gravitational offense makes them the superior squad, while you're taking the 2022-2023 team and their decentralized defensive web.
Yeah, let's get right into it.
So when you evaluate greatness, dominating the teams that know you best is the ultimate metric. The 1920 Rams went an elite 13-3 in the CIAA.
Which is a fantastic record. I'll give you that.
It really is. They averaged nearly 70 points a game and snapped an 8-year championship drought for the university. And they did it by running an offense centered entirely around Robert Cohen.
Right.
He earned box-to-row All-American honors, cementing him as one of the absolute best players across all HBCUs, because he literally bent the defense to his will.
Well, bending the defense is great until, the defense doesn't snap. I look at the 2022-2023 Rams and see a much more resilient blueprint. They won more total games, going 21-9 with a plus 6.0 scoring margin.
Okay, but margins aren't everything.
Maybe not, but the real difference is how they defended. They held opponents to just 61.8 points per game, and that wasn't through luck. It was through a suffocating switch-heavy scheme that completely denied driving lanes. They systematically dismantled pick and rolls.
Sure, they played hard defensively.
They didn't just outscore you. They physically broke down your offensive mechanics.
But let's look at what happens when those mechanics break down on your own end. Basketball games get tight, right? The 1920 team had an ultimate trump card in Colin, averaging almost 17 points a game.
That's a lot of eggs in one basket, though.
But he wasn't just a scorer. He was like the engine of a sports car. When the rest of the chassis was struggling, he could redline the offense and just drag them across the finish line. Look at their CIAA championship against Fayetteville State.
Ah, the comeback.
Yeah. Down 11 points with 5 minutes left. Colin orchestrates the comeback and hits 3 clutch free throws with 4 seconds remaining. That clutch factor is simply irreplaceable.
But relying on a clutch gene is often a symptom of a flawed offense. Like if your system works, you shouldn't need a hero down 11 with 5 minutes left.
You take the wins how you get them.
Sure, but if Colin has an off night, your whole sports car stalls out. The 22-23 team didn't need a hero because they removed single points of failure. They built a decentralized web where 4 players averaged double figures.
Right, like Gibson and Teal.
Exactly. Jalen Gibson, Samaj Teal, Jalen Alston, and Isaac Parson. You couldn't just double-team one guy to stop their momentum.
Okay, you say they didn't need a hero, but they fell behind by double digits at halftime in their own title game against Lincoln.
Right, they did. And how did they respond?
By grinding it out, I guess.
Not by giving the ball to one guy and praying. Because they had a collective approach, they didn't panic. They leaned into their system, clamped down defensively, and engineered a massive 17-8 run late in the second half to win 62-57.
It was a good run.
It proved that a decentralized offense paired with elite defense is fundamentally more stable.
I hear you on stability, but explain to me how you justify calling them historically great when they win a very mediocre 10-7 in their own conference.
Mediocre is a strong word.
It's accurate. A system is only as reliable as its consistency. The 1920 team systematically ran through the CIAA with a 13-3 mark. They proved their superiority night in and night out against the regional rivals who scouted them the hardest.
Well,
the 2023 team struggled against the opponents who knew them best.
Because conference records can be heavily skewed by early season chemistry adjustments, which is exactly what happens when you are building a decentralized system rather than just, handing the keys to one star on day one.
So it took them longer to figure it out?
You have to look at the overall body of work. The 2022-23 team ultimately secured 21 wins compared to the 19 squad's 19. Furthermore, their superior rebounding and turnover margins represent a mechanism that travels anywhere.
Defense travels, yeah. We know the cliché.
It's a cliché because it's true. An offensive streak like Colin's can disappear in a hostile gym, but securing the glass and forcing turnovers are entirely immune to a cold shooting night.
Fair enough. We really are looking at two fundamentally opposed philosophies that both reached the mountaintop. I mean, the 2019-2020 Rams represent the pinnacle of gravitational star power and relentless conference dominance.
While the 2022-23 Rams prove the value of a decentralized offensive web and absolute defensive suffocation.
Yeah. Both squads displayed incredible championship resilience under Cleo Hill Jr.'s leadership. The historical record really doesn't hand us a definitive winner here.
Right. It simply asks what kind of structural integrity you trust most when the pressure is at its absolute highest.
Exactly. Do you want the engine that can redline past any obstacle, or the machine with no single point of failure? We will leave that for you to decide.